Welcome to Isis in the Bible, the Spring Gathering, Week 8. Go spell. The question for today is, what do you know about the Gospel of Thomas? Well, you have to know how to spell. How many languages are there? How many different spellings are there? How many interpretations? Do you see the word spell and gospel? Who's right? There's only one truth, and it should feel good and enlightening and tell you you are infinite and tethered to pure love. Okay, the summer solstice this year was June 20th, and it was exactly at 12 noon for Fresno, California. Is another message from the stars. The solstice happening over California, which is 0 degrees Aries on the land. She's back, pay attention. So I just wanted to add this in for everybody to see, because this happened after our meeting that I made this. But you can see that this beautiful, beautiful alignment, this summer solstice actually happened on the 0 degree Aries, which is the Phoenix rising. And then our full moon happened on June 21st. All right. Happening in the sky. Kat shared this. She said that there's a comet, 13P Olbers, and it's going to be closest to the sun on June the 30th. What does this mean? Comet. These are just energies. These aren't going to come and crash into the earth or anything like that. That's not what's going on. I'm just going to show you a little animation here. This is starting from April the 12th. You can see that there's on April the 15th, you can see it was right on the ecliptic where the sun travels. And there's that other Pons Pre-Brook that we talked about. And then here comes the sun. And it says right around this point, around June the 30th, it's going to be the closest to the sun. And what does that mean to anybody? I don't know, but this is what people are talking about. So if you see this, you're going to now have witnessed it. You need to have a good pair of binoculars or a telescope to see it, is what I'm understanding. But what's coming in the sky is on June the 29th. This is interesting because June the 30th, we've been talking about June the 30th, and also that comet gets the closest. Saturn goes retrograde. So Saturn retrograde, that reminds us of things of the past and the time of the past. And then also July the 2nd, on that weekend, Neptune energy goes retrograde. So if people are starting to feel energies or lack of energy, you'll know why. They'll be going retrograde for a little while. And one of the people asked today, one of our members asked about who was Thomas, which apostle was Thomas. And this was from the brother from Gnostic Academy. He did a great job deciphering which apostle was which zodiac sign. There's differences of opinions, but he's got them pretty well nailed the way he's done it. So Thomas is supposed to be Gemini. And that's probably why he was the brother of Jesus, right? Twins. Okay, so the Gospel of Thomas is a collection of 114 sayings attributed to Jesus, written in Coptic and discovered in Nag Hammadi, Egypt, in 1945. Unlike the canonical gospel, it lacks a narrative structure and focuses on mystical and esoteric teachings. Scholars date the Gospel of Thomas to the mid-1st century to late 2nd century CE. So this is scholars, though, and they want to say because it's talking about Jesus, so they're probably being a little bit biased in saying when it was written. The dating is based on linguistic analysis, comparison with canonical gospels, and the historical context of Gnostic movements. The key points are A non-narrative structure. Unlike the New Testament Gospels, it consists of sayings rather than a continuous narrative. Mystical and esoteric teachings. The sayings emphasize inner spiritual knowledge and enlightenment. Direct teachings to you. The sayings are presented as direct quotations from Jesus, often beginning with Jesus said. We're going to talk more about that. Parallels to synoptic gospels. Some sayings are similar to those found in Matthew, Mark, and Luke. That's what Cece was mentioning, but with different emphasis. Gnostic influence reflects Gnostic themes. Remember, emphasizing knowledge. Gnosis means knowledge, true knowledge, metaphysical knowledge as the path to salvation. So you are the only one that can save yourself. Key themes: self-knowledge, kingdom of God, and light and enlightenment. So that's what the general consensus of the Gospel of Thomas has. So today I'm just going to touch on two different debated authors. Why? Because they don't follow the mainstream narrative, but highlights the importance of the self and your journey to enlightenment. So when you listen to these authors where they're talking about you and your journey to enlightenment, you can't write it off, right? The Nag Hammadi, and hence the Gospel of Thomas, was written in Sahidic Coptic, whereas that can lead to significant misinterpretations. For example, specific sounds and grammatical structures in Sahidic Coptic may not have direct equivalents in Greek, causing nuanced meanings to be lost or altered during translation. AI systems, which often rely on training data that may not fully capture these distinctions, are particularly susceptible to these errors. AI translated the two words in three different ways and never achieved Jesus said. So these misinterpretations of ancient texts lead to inaccuracies and misrepresentations. This underscores the importance of specialized knowledge or gnosis, that you need to become one with the message. Again, if you don't have the foundational truth, your senses will fool you. So let's talk about Elaine Pagels. She says the Gnostic Gospels explores the context, the significance, and impact of Gnostic texts discovered at Nag Hammadi, including the Gospel of Thomas. Pagels examines how these texts present alternative Christian traditions and beliefs that often conflict with Orthodox Christianity. A key point she brings up is discusses the central tenets of Gnosticism, such as the emphasis on esoteric knowledge, the divine spark within each individual, and rejection of the material world as a creation of a lesser, flawed deity. Conflict with orthodoxy. The book highlights how Gnostic Christians were often in conflict with Orthodox Christian authorities. There you go, Christians against Christians, who viewed Gnostic teachings as heretical. Pagel provides insights into the early Christian world and the diversity of beliefs that existed within the early church. She interprets the Gospel of Thomas as a text that reflects Gnostic themes, such as the emphasis on self-knowledge and the internal discovery of the divine, so the divine with you. She argues that sayings in Thomas are intended to guide individuals toward a deeper mystical understanding of Jesus' teachings rather than provide a historical account of Jesus' words. And so here comes the debates, right? You are the chosen one. So are you. That's what really this book is telling you. Attribution to Jesus. Pagel does not focus on proving the sayings came directly from historical Jesus. Instead, she emphasizes how the Gospel of Thomas represents a unique and valuable perspective within early Christianity. Scholarity reception. Her work is debated for its portrayal of Gnosticism and its impact on early Christian history. Critics argue about the extent to which Gnostic texts like Thomas should be considered representative of early Christian thought. Gnosticism, Gnostic, you got to remember, all that means is you're in the know. How can that be a woo-woo word? You're just in the know. You know who you are. You know the divine spark within. Okay, moving on to Marvin Meyer, The Secret Teachings of Jesus, 4 Gnostic Gospels. Meyer's book provides translational and interpretations of 4 Gnostic texts from the Nag Hammadi library, including the Gospel of Thomas. Meyer offers a detailed commentary on each saying. So that'd be a good one if you want to look at it, because 114 of them, situating them within the broader context of Gnostic spirituality. The key points are a comprehensive commentary. He provides a verse-by-verse analysis of the Gospel of Thomas, including the meanings and implications of each saying. The book highlights the Gnostic emphasis on inner enlightenment, the divine spark, and the importance of spiritual knowledge. He interprets the sayings in Thomas as expressions of Gnostic spiritualities, focusing on the transformative power of self-knowledge and the discovery of divine within. He provides historical and textual analysis to support his interpretation, showing how the sayings fit in the Gnostic worldview. So like Pagels, Meyer does not claim that the sayings in Thomas can be definitely attributed to historical Jesus. Instead, he emphasizes their spiritual and theological significance to the Gnostic tradition. Scholars debate his interpretations, of course, arguing about the historical context and the extent to which the Gospel of Thomas should be seen as Gnostic text versus an early Christian text. So there's a theme, right? So let's talk about some of the sayings, 3 sayings only. Saying number 1, this is important. The first saying in the Gospel of Thomas is, whoever finds the interpretation of these sayings will not experience death. So in other words, if you know what these sayings truly mean, you will realize you're not that which dies. And that's why I threw the sun rises and sun sets, because we are that which rises and sets. And we know that when you look to the sky in 31 AD, when Jesus supposedly died on the cross, it has the sun with both Marys in the sky. All right? So it is astrological. The second saying that I wanted to bring up, because these are the most debated sayings. The kingdom of God is within you and all around you. Well, we know what the God in the 609 is, right? The kingdom of God. God is everywhere. The spirals, the beautiful natural spirals and our journeys are everywhere. You can see it no matter where. It's all around you. Look around at Mother Nature and you'll see the face of God. And the last one is saying number 77. Split a piece of wood and I am there. Lift up the stone and you will find me there. I am from love, manifest as God. So you are God. You are from love. The correct way to state your relationship with God is, I am from love, manifest as God. Because you are the God, you are the 609, you are the yin yang, you are the creator of all your experiences. You lift your own stone to expose you. You are the physical from the metaphysical. And so that's all. I just wanted to touch on, just briefly, on the Gospel of Thomas, give you a couple of authors and those 114 sayings. We really need to go and learn the true Coptic to be able to understand it fully. But if you read these, just try to read between the lines, because reading between the lines, you'll get there, because the truth is always written in there. And that's all we have for today.